All right, are y'all ready? Let's get spicy. How spicy are we gonna get though? I feel like this is the color of spice, but I kind of want to keep it natural spice. I don't know. All right, we're gonna go into 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗬𝗬 Rumor 0.5. We're going a little lighter with our base, but not quite white. Code Rose 10 for a discount on that 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗬𝗬. Grabbing a dry blender, start here and work this in. I use a dry blender because it's not going to move the product around. And it's not going to add any more moisture, but it's going to give us a nice smooth finish. Alright guys, we're going to take the ColourPop Orange You Glad palette. I'm so excited. Code Rose for a discount. Alright, I'm going to take this shade right here and we're going to start by tapping this into our crease. Alright, I'm taking this on a MAC 252S and to start by pressing this. Do you guys see that I'm straight up just pressing this into my crease? And we're going to take it all the way over. Yeah, I don't want to take it too far out either. That's why I'm kind of shutting my eye. I mean, opening my eye, not shutting it. Ooh, that's so pretty. I'm going to go into this shade right here and this one right here. Still using that same exact brush. I'm going to tap this right above that dark color and a little bit into it as well. The key to these 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗬𝗬 bases is to tap and take your time. I'm going to tap it all the way over here and then all the way over here as well. Alright, so I'm going to grab this Sigma E42. I'm living for this brush, you guys. Living. And I'm going to go right into the shade here, Sun Kissed. And now we're going to start to do small circular motions and bring this up into a nice, beautiful ombre transition of wonderfulness. Did you like all that description? That's what it needed. Until it looks like this over here. Alright, I'm just going to grab a dark brown shadow from another palette. This is the only shadow I'm going to use from another one. Just because I wanted a really nice halo eye today. Don't you love how this is not spicy to me anymore? I'm just like, we're doing something natural. These are natural tones. And I'm still using that MAC 252S, and we're just going to pop that through there and over here. Alright, orange calls for more orange. I'm going to grab 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗬𝗬. This is the OTT Orange. And I'm actually going to mix it with the base I already have on the back of my hand. Because I want it to be more of like, not a pastel, but just not as vivid. So we're going to mix that up. So we'll mix it up. I figured you guys wanted to see that. I love mixing. Perfect. Okay, so now we're just going to take this on my Dose of Colors concealer brush. And I'm going to try and use a smaller amount. Because we're going to do a couple eyeshadows on the lid and we want this to be a thin layer. So we'll take this all the way up into the crease. Sometimes I'll look up to see where it goes. Perfect. And then of course just cover up the rest of the lid. Don't worry if you see any bare spots. We've still got a lot of blending and working to do. But we just want to make sure this is nice and evenly coated. Alright, I hope that the iced latte you're drinking has milk, because you're going to need it for all this spice. Wait till I put this on my lid. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is so gorgeous. So I picked up my Sigma E57, the one I always use. And we're going to take the shimmer and we're just going to really focus it right in the center. It did feather out. Oh my lord, that's literally like sunlight. I did feather out a little bit, but I'm not going to take it all the way to over there because we're still going to blend mattes over there. Now get ready for the blend. Look at that. Living for this brush, by the way. I've been using it nonstop. It's an Gypsum T09. Life-changing. I'm going right back into 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗬𝗬𝗕, which is the dark brown from the palette. Or the medium brown, I should say. And we're going to feather this into the dark brown that we used and over into the orange. And I love this brush. Swipe up to get it. It's honestly so perfect for small detail work. Grabbing my Dose of Colors liner in the shade Loyal. Nice, pretty dark brown. I always warm up my eyeliners on the back of my hand for just a second. And then we're going to go across here. We're not doing a wing liner because that would just totally take away. But what I am going to do in a minute is once we get our foundation on, I'm going to shape it and bring the eyeshadow out to give it more of a cat eye effect. But we have to finish our foundation. So pop that on, and then I'm going to grab that amazing little Gypsum brush again that I'm obsessed with. Go into that dark brown shadow and just kind of not smoke it out too heavily, but just make sure it's nice and blended and melted. I love that word. All right, let's put on our favorite mascara, the ColourPop BFF. Obsessed with this mascara. Wiggle it in there. Make sure we get rid of all that orange that's on our eyelashes. Really, really vibing with this e.l.f. Dew Primer from the Jelly Pop collection. I'm really liking it. I love the way it feels on my skin. I do use my hands to apply this because it's a little more grabby, but makeup just sticks to it and it just lasts and makes your skin look really, really pretty. You know, I've always wanted to try that putty primer from e.l.f. I've heard that one was really good, but I'm really, really enjoying this one. Look how pretty. These are House of Lashes in the style Natalia. So pretty. And I use Duo Dark Tone Lash Glue today. Look how pretty. I love that. Alright, I'm using my Dose of Colors foundation again. It's so good. I use the shade 117 Light Medium. I'm going to do, honestly, one pump is all you need. Let that warm up on the back of your hand and we'll start to melt this into the skin. Alright, get ready for it. We're going to pop that on. And it's just going to melt right into the skin and give you amazing coverage. I would say it's medium to full. I'm starting out with such a small amount. That's just my style. That's what I always do. And that's why I use a brush first. It kind of diffuses it and it works it in, and then we'll go over with the sponge just to make sure we don't have any brush streaks, because no matter what brush you use, you might have a few streaks. Circular motions, work it in. Look at that. It just looks so pretty. I still have some working in to do. I'm going to take my Smith 109, go into the smallest amount of foundation, and we're going to work that through here and through here, and then of course around the brows. Alright, we're going to grab the Dose of Colors blender as well. I like this one. And then we're just going to work it into the areas we want a little bit more coverage. I won't say that the foundation oxidizes, it more adjusts. Oxidize can be a negative word, but I feel like when I first put it on, it looks a little yellow, and then as it sits, it adjusts to my skin tone. So we won't say it oxidizes, it adjusts. So before I do my concealer, I'm going to do my contour slash bronze. I'm using Huda Tantour in the shade Light. We're just going to do a really light layer of that. Normally you guys know I go a little ham with this, but since I'm going to be out in public, I don't want to go too ham. Just like tiny ham. Being tiny micro pig ham. That's where we're at today. Kylie concealer. You already know. If I gotta go be seen, this is what's on my face. A little bit of Gypsum, which is the lighter shade to highlight, and bring this part of the face out. You guys know I like the smallest amount on my nose. And then we're gonna do a little bit of Himalaya, which is my pink tone, pinky peach, can't talk, to color correct. These two will blend together and it will be beautiful, and I love to get rid of shadows here. And then right there. Now let's blend it. Gotta have this bad boy to blend it in through here. Yes, it is damp. Anytime you see me blending concealer or foundation, it's going to be damp because it's just going to melt the product in better. There we go. And then I love this because it's just so fast. And then I'm going to take whatever's on this blender and go right underneath here where we did the Huda Tantour. And we're going to leave it a little while for a second, a little bit spicy, and then we'll go back over it. Because I got to have it all melted, but we still want it a little defined. Alright, we got my Velour Puff from Laura Mercier, and I'm going to do Kylie Translucent. I normally use pink, but this one's out, and I love it. But I'm going to take it, wipe the excess powder on the back of my hand, and since I'm going out into public, you guys know I like to do this instead of baking. So we'll just work this into the skin. But I'm only going to do underneath my eyes. But this one we'll use a different powder for the rest of the face. Picking up the rest of that powder, press it in. This lasts so much longer and looks so much better up close. Alright, grabbing UNTZ, I think that's how you say it. It's a ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. And we're going to pop this right here in the center. Just in the center. Look how pigmented that is. Code ROSE for a discount. Grabbing the brown eyeliner from Dose of Colors. Pop this on the outer part of the eye. Blend it ever so lightly into the orange. Okay, grab that dark brown shadow again. Throw it right underneath there. And underneath here. Okay, so I've kind of already did it on this eye. I'm taking a Smith 247, going back into this beautiful shade right here. I'm obsessed with this shade. And we're going to focus this under here, and then I'm already going to swoop it over here. There's some swooping, by the way. Circular motions, and blend and bring this out. Remember how I said we were going to make it a little more elongated? Don't bring it too far over into the dark shade on your lid. Bring it out this way, and then I'm going to wipe the brush off. Not too much, but then just make sure there's not too much on it, and then just circular motions and bring it out. All right, remember the P. Louise Orange? I still have it on my brush. This is still one of my favorite songs. Just pop that right underneath here and wiggle it into your lashes so it connects to the orange on our waterline. Girl, we're spicy. Now let's hop right back into the shade that's on our lid. It's called Tangerine Dreams. Look at that. I'm telling y'all, this little brush is off the chain. I love this brush. I'm gonna look up while I do this. Alright, my favorite trick, it just pulls everything together. Grab a white eyeshadow, any white eyeshadow. Start the most of the product here on your brow bone. Whatever's left on this brush, take it through here. Circular motions, it'll just melt everything together. Look at the difference, and it just kind of highlighted that and brought it up higher. Alright, I'm just going to shape the face a little bit more with this ColourPop bronzer. It's in the shade Wild Card and a Smith 131, and I'm just going to take it right here and just blend it up. I'm not going to bring it down any farther. Look how pretty that is. And then a little bit around the forehead. Alright, I already applied a little bit. This is Above and Beyond blush from ColourPop. A little bit more, never hurt nobody. It's so pretty. It's like this perfect peachy shade. Love it. Matching all these orangey tones. And we ain't got nothing but time and glitter, y'all. Doug, it doesn't concern you, I promise. Everybody wanted to see the shade Clementine, which I know probably isn't meant for your eyes because glitter is always wildly controversial when you put it on your eyes, but as long as you take it off with Scotch tape, you should be good. And this one already has a little bit of hold to it, so you don't have to use a glitter adhesive. I'm going to take a smaller brush, same the little Esom one I've been using, and we'll pop a little under here. Oh my god, I love this color. This is a ColourPop Lippie stick in the shade Parker. It's a matte. I forget how much I love these. Look how pretty that is. I love it with the eye too. I actually had to go out to dinner, so I was going to do like an orange lip, but come on, Rose. Get it together. I added MAC Oak lip liner. Quite a bit of it too. This literally looks like it's glowing. Alright, I'm going to go get dressed and get some pictures, and then I'll post all the details. It's going to be spicy. It's Halloween on my face. I almost forgot my inner corner. Who am I? Who have I become? I'll tell you who. Wild woman. Alright, I'm going to grab a MAC 228, and I think I'm going to use this as my inner corner. This is the shade Monkey Business from that ColourPop. I might throw this down and then put tassel on top. No, kind of vibing with it being neon. That's kind of fun.